Good evening. Live from the Great Hall on the Town Hall of Plymouth, Massachusetts. It's a February 18th, 2026 meeting of the Advisory and Finance Committee. This meeting is being conducted in a hybrid format with some participants attending physically and others attending virtually via a video conference application. This meeting will be airing on Comcast 9, Verizon 47, and on the local scene streaming channel, www.youtube.com/@Plymouth Meeting SLS. Any speaker giving public comment is allotted up to 5 minutes in which to speak. Public comment can be made at the beginning or end of each meeting, or in regard to a particular agenda item the speaker wishes to be heard on. The Zoom login information is as follows. Via the Zoom app, click Join on the Zoom application. The meeting ID is 995-2986-0638. The meeting password is 100131. You can go to the Zoom website at www.zoom.us and click Join a Meeting in the top right-hand side of the screen. Enter the meeting ID 995-2986-0638, and then the meeting password of 100131. And finally, via telephone, dialing number 929-205-6099 and entering the meeting ID 995-2986-0638, and the meeting password is 10031. As some of you may know, the standing rules of the Finance Committee are that any meeting that extends beyond 3 hours requires a majority vote of the committee to take up any new items. In light of that and the possibility we may go long this evening or through this agenda item, we have reserved tomorrow evening we will recess and reconvene tomorrow evening in the courthouse, the 1820 courthouse, to continue the meeting. It has a different meeting ID that is on tonight's agenda, as well as a different link for PAC TV to watch that. So with that, I will call the roll. Did you take my
Oh,
motion?
oh.
Ms. Butler, are you here?
Yes.
All right. Mr. Dunn?
Here.
Mr. Friedman?
Here.
Mr. Jacinto?
Here.
Ms. Keating?
Here.
I think I'm here. Mr. Malaguti?
Here.
Ms. O'Connor?
Here.
Mr. Ramey?
Here.
Ms. Reitman?
Here.
Ms. Richards?
Here.
Mr. Snyder?
Here.
Ms. Tompkins?
Here.
Mr. Trudell?
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi? I know he's traveling en route to the meeting and may join us later. All right. So this is the first opportunity for public comment. Is there anyone who wishes to address the committee? Seeing none in the room and seeing no one virtually. All right, we'll move on to the first agenda item, which is Article 2, Revolving Fund Spending Caps. The Director of Finance, Ms. Lynn Barrett, is here with us tonight to speak to Article 2. Good evening, Ms. Barrett.
Good evening. So this article is a recurring annual article which establishes the spending thresholds for all revolving funds that have been previously approved and adopted and included in the town bylaws. So this article, each department has requested a particular spending cap for the revolving account. And there's no new revolving accounts in the materials that you got. They're all existing recurring revolving accounts. One of them, I believe, is going to be requested to be closed before the end of this fiscal year, but the rest of them are recurring annual revolving accounts. And departments are here to answer any questions that you might have, but your packets were full of information that I think would be helpful. Thank you.
All right, do you happen to know which one you're proposing to close by the end of this year?
Yeah, the police chief is requested to close the Plymouth County Outreach revolving account. It's being transferred over to another host community who'll be doing that program.
Okay, great. Any questions from the committee? Mr. Malaguti?
Thank you. And Lynn, you actually answered one of my questions. That was one that I was going to ask about for that revolving fund. But the other one I have is the 1820 courthouse revolving fund. I know that one has been sort of like in limbo for a few years. And I know that there was intention to actually set it up for fees for the courthouse green and other things on there. Is that still being pursued, or is that one that's also looking to the chopping block in the future as well?
That one, it never got off the ground, so I'm not sure exactly like which department would necessarily oversee that one. I believe right now it's under the town manager. But I don't really have any other information about that one at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the committee? All right, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to Article 2? I see no one in the room, I see no one remotely. And with that, Ms. Butler, would you care to make a motion to move Article 2?
So moved.
All right, and Mr. Dunn, would you care to second that?
Second.
All right, so we have a motion from Ms. Butler and a second from Mr. Dunn. Is there any discussion among the committee? All right, seeing and hearing none. Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Mr. Keating, Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Reitman,
Yes.
Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins,
Yes.
Mr. Trudell,
Yes.
and I don't see Mr. Becky on yet, so I think we have
13.
we have 13. 13 yes, 0 no's, no abstentions.
Yeah, you don't count. So.
I know I don't. I've been told that many times. All right, it's on to Article 7, and before we get into the individual articles, I want to make a brief presentation to share some observations I made about the budgets in Article 7. So one of the pleasures this year of being chair is that I actually didn't do any subcommittee reports, chair any subcommittees, and so I had the opportunity to sort of take a step back and look at Articles A through F, subcommittees A through F. And I took a slightly different look at it. Of the almost 309 million, I organized the information by budget area rather than by subcommittee. The same total, but just a different look at it on the reports that we had in our budget book and other information I got from the finance office. And if you take a look at that, 43% of this article is school services. And there's the fixed costs for school in town, another 27%, and then there's about 6% for debt, community debt service and school debt service. And I decided that it would be interesting to split the school out because it's its own sort of big animal. And I look at the fixed costs as fixed costs, and there's not too much to argue about there. And the community debt, well, we have to pay our bills. And if you pull that all out, this is kind of hard to see, but there's a much smaller amount left, and I even can't read this at this distance, but the big chunk down there is public safety, which is a very people-heavy kind of opportunity. It's also 24/7, 365. So I'm not surprised about it. But these are very forward-facing services to the town. And that ends up being $74 million out of that $308 million that we're considering tonight in Article 7. And not a surprise, 80% of that's related to people. And then the other expenses, 15%. Fuel and utilities, well, that's almost an expense you have to pay too, because this is fuel and utilities for all the town buildings, including the schools. And then you have department equipment at a very small 2%. So for me, that was rather enlightening in terms of, as we move through the proceedings tonight, to know that this is, I think, the area that we are going to be limited to in some ways in terms of whatever we might want to take for proposed budget changes. And then lastly, one of the things I worked with Adam Blaisdell, first of all, Brian Dunn volunteered, maybe he was voluntold, I'm not sure, but he agreed willingly to become a liaison to the school budget subcommittee. So he's been meeting with that team school team as they've developed that budget. I heard he's been asking lots of hard questions and probing questions in the fall, and he'll be talking about that more, but I've always found it rather interesting. Under the middle column there, Subcommittee F budget, that's the 133,529,377 that will be considered tonight for approval. But in addition to that, last year, the chair and one of the school committee members worked hard to identify the other parts of the town budget that go to support the school. And that number this year, working with Adam Blaisdell, is about $59 million. So the total for the school operation is about $192, $193 million. I find that rather interesting. There were approximately $4.5 million worth of capital requests in Article 19 that we considered 3 weeks ago for 4 hours that are in the school budget. And there are a total of about $5.7 million of grants and expenses that come into the school budget that are projected for FY20, that are projected for FY26. FY27 is a bit unknown. And I think the other thing that's interesting in my experience in dealing with school budgets is that there's a lot of unfunded or underfunded mandates that come from the state. And Adam and working with the Director of Finance, Ms. Barrett, estimate that for FY25, that amounted to just over $41 million. So that's a fairly significant chunk of the budget, somewhere around 25%. So those are some observations that I just wanted to share with you. And I'll pause for a moment to see if the Finance Committee has any questions they would like to ask or comments, anything. And I can't see my screen, but is there anyone remotely? Oh, okay, I'll hold back. All right, well, with that, I'll go back to my desk to talk a little bit more about Article 7. So tonight for Article 7, what I want to do is have each subcommittee chair present their presentation / report. And then I plan, if it's okay with the committee, to vote on each department budget unless a committee member wants to make a motion to consolidate the subcommittee report into one vote. Yes, Ms. Butler. Okay. I don't know if we need a motion, but there's a second from Mr. Trudell, so we'll vote on this plan, much like we did for the capital budget the other night. Is there any discussion among the board? Okay, seeing and hearing none. Ms. Butler, first of all, we have a first from Ms. Butler on that motion, Jeanette, and a second from Mr. Trudell. And this is to vote on each department budget unless we get a motion to combine the subcommittee report. All right, any discussion, questions? All right, Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Reitman,
Yes.
Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins,
Yes.
Mr. Trudell,
Yes.
and I still don't see Mr. Vecchi here. All right, I think we have 13 yes, 0 no's, no abstentions. All right, so presenting for Subcommittee A, Ms. O'Connor, could you please come up to the podium and give your report? You're the next slide.
Thank you. All right, thank you. So we will start with Subcommittee A, which is the administrative budget. On the committee, we had myself as chair, Gail Butler, Tom Jacinto, and Joe Lally. I might need to grab my computer. Do you mind? I'm not I can't see the numbers.
Okay.
Okay, so looking quickly before we get into each budget, the administrative services budget as a whole ended up at a 2.9% increase. As we go through, you'll see some budgets had a bit of an increase, some had a bit of a decrease. The overall impact is an increase of $481,539. The echoing what Mr. Lally just said, a lot of that impact is personnel services as we go through. So we will start with the first budget, the town manager's budget. So this was presented by town manager Derek Brindisi for us. We're looking at a 6.6% increase overall. That's mostly influenced by the addition of the Labor Council and paralegal for this particular budget, as well as what we'll see across the board is this 2% cost of living and other contractual benefit increases that are required for. Any questions on?
Just go ahead and go through your entire.
Oh, we're going through them all.
Go
Okay,
through them
great.
all, and then we'll come back and.
Okay. Next up, we're looking at human resources. So we've got an overall increase of 1.8% on this budget. So I apologize. Should I go through what the summary is for everyone? I know we've got a little
I
matter
think you
of
should hit the
time.
high points, yes.
Yeah. So Health and Human Resources provides the town with support and guidance for all town departments, recruitment, employee relations, labor relations, training, benefits administration, policy, and compliance. So they are there to ensure we've got a skilled and well-supported workforce, while at the same time improving efficiency, reducing turnover, and supporting cost-effective service and delivery. So this was presented to us by Jacqueline Gurney, who is the Human Resources Director. Like I said, we're looking at a 1.8% increase. So that, again, we're going to be looking at that mostly driven by personnel costs. So the cost of living budget is the biggest influence there. This does reflect some cuts from the select board, which mostly came in on the technical services and employee recognition and gifts. Next up, we've got the town clerk's budget. So town clerk's office was responsible for a lot of important functions in the town, managing and overseeing elections, registering residents as voters, posting board and committee meetings, documenting and filing vital records, managing the town census, processing dog licenses, managing and documenting the state ethics training, and attending and certifying all town meetings. So this was presented to us by Kelly McElreath, the town clerk. So we're seeing a 2.2% budget overall here as well. Sorry to be a broken record again. This is personnel services, the cost of living adjustment, contractual obligations. And then as we saw previously and see pretty much on a yearly basis, anticipating the potential for increased costs with postage, printing costs for the census, and some training costs for assistant town clerk. So that's a total of $17,277 increase. Next up, we have elections and town meetings. So again, this is town clerk Kelly McElreath's budget to present. You'll see that we've got a larger increase here. The town clerk is, of course, responsible for managing and overseeing the elections, registering residents as voters. And this year we are seeing a 20% increase, but we're seeing 3 elections instead of 1 from last year. So the $64,832 increase is mitigated from the change that we made previously in pulling down the number of polling sites. So more elections, more costs, but mitigated on that side. So we are looking at that larger percentage that we're seeing, but in reality, in terms of what the town is doing with elections, it's a nice sort of efficient way to look at that. Next one was is the 1749 courthouse. So this is overseen by Connor Anderson, who's the Historic Resources Director. Lynn took care of presenting this to us. Level funded budget. The courthouse is a free museum maintained by the town of Plymouth. As we know, we all love our historical attractions. This is on the Register of Historic Places. So a nice, significant, historically significant and positive element for the town's tourism board as well. So this was a level funded budget, so we're seeing no increase year over year. Next, we have the member benefits. So this was also presented by Jacqueline Gurney, Human Resources Director. So this is looking at all of the town's benefit programs. So we're looking at workers' comp, Medicare, life insurance, disability insurance, other benefit programs, as well as benefit claims. So we're looking at a 4.4% increase for the budget this year. That comes to $422,103. So this is the cost of insurance increasing is the influence on this. So it's a little bit of a hands tied increase, unfortunately, on that side. But there also is sort of a nice note that programs are being focused on that implement some risk management and are proving effective in managing the cost of claims coming in. So being proactive a little bit there. It's a benefit for the town for sure. Next up, we have the all-town insurance budget. So this was presented to us by Derek Brindisi, our town manager. So this is all of the town's property and liability insurance costs. So we're actually seeing a 7.6% decrease in this budget, which comes out to a savings of $611. So this decrease was thanks to the opportunity to do some negotiations with the policy groups on deductibles and premium changes. And lastly, right, we have inspectional services. So this was presented to us by Jason Silva, who is the director of inspectional services. So this budget is covering the safety of residents, businesses, and visitors by enforcing building codes, zoning regulations, and safety standards. So we are looking at a 5% increase. Again, this is going to be for cost of living, contractual obligations, and also the goal of adding a additional administrative support person and a business manager position so that we can work on being a little or as efficient as we can implementing some technology when we're looking at our inspectional services. It is worth noting that this department brings in about, so the number I believe in 2014 was 3.1 million for the town, or 3.4 million, I think. Expected to rise, the town's growing, inspectional needs grow. So just a side note on that as we see a budget increase, but it is a positive impact to the town. And those are all of the budgets.
Okay, thank you,
Okay, yep.
Ms. O'Connor.
So, and before we go on the vote, thank you everyone who met with us to vote. I don't know where we're all sitting, but we appreciated your time.
Great. Okay, are there any questions from the committee on 123A, the town manager's budget? I see none in the room and none remotely. I'm just going to go down through the departments first. Any questions on 152A, human resources? And let me go back to the town manager budget. Is there any member of the public who has a question about the town manager budget? I see no one in the room or remotely. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to comment on the human resources budget or questions? All right. Any questions for the committee on the town clerk budget? Again, seeing no one in the room, none remotely. All right. Any questions for elections and town meeting budget from the committee? Any member of the public remotely or in the room that wishes to ask a question or comment on that budget? All right. Anyone on the committee for the 1749 courthouse budget? Any member of the public? All right. Any questions on member benefits from the committee or town insurance? Yes, sir, Mr. Friedman.
Yeah, so I noticed, I know that you mentioned.
Move towards the mic, please.
Sorry, thank you. Too many books and stuff.
Or move the mic towards you.
I saw that the increase reflects the benefit cost to the town, but I was curious because the town member benefits have gone up substantially more than the school member benefits, and I just wondering if there's a reason for that difference?
Ms.
would
Barrett,
probably
would you
just-
care to try and answer that question? Does that have to do with health insurance? Ms. Lynn Barrett, Director of Finance, is approaching the.
So the town, the detail in your three-ring binder books would give more detail on each item that is in the member benefits. So we break out on member benefits, workers' comp, life insurance, disability, Managed Blue, Part B, reimbursement for retirees, the penalty. So, and then on the town side, we have deferred comp match, and it's just there was more of an increase on the town side of those benefits versus the school side.
Any further questions, Mr. Friedman?
Well, I understand there's more on the town side than the school side, but, and I suppose I can look at the detail here. That would, if somebody maybe from the subcommittee, yeah, thank you.
Mr. Jacinto?
I was on the subcommittee. So the numbers here, it says a 6% increase versus a 3.2% increase. The variance is about the same. It's about a $200,000 variance. It's the original budget for the town members was $3,702,250 versus the schools, which was $6,333,000, showing, so there's an equal increase. It's just the percentages are different because of the original budget, when I look at that.
Yeah, so I get that, but, you know, on a starting a $3 million budget versus a $5 million budget, the variance is actually high, you know, there's actually more of an increase on the $3 million budget than there is on the $6 million budget. So,
Ms. Barrett, is this the budget that had the drug costs? It's not the budget, okay. All right, never mind. Thank you. All right, may we come back to that, Mr. Friedman? All right. Or, yes, Mr. Ramey?
Miss Barrett, I can give you my page if this is what you're looking for.
So on the town side of the member benefits, it includes items that are not on the school side. So the reason for the base being a different amount is the deferred comp match, 100B for our injury for retirees and our 111F program for, which is basically workers' comp for public safety. Those items, especially the deferred comp, saw a larger increase this year than last year, and it's something that isn't on the school side of the benefits. I think that's primarily it. The other thing, which is included in this budget, is Managed Blues, and that is a premium product for retirees. And we're seeing what ends up happening there is when retirees who are on the HMO product, and when they turn 65, they go to the Managed Blue. And sometimes the population of that movement is different from town side, from school side.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions? Yes, Mr. Malaguti?
Thank you. I was just wondering if I could just get a slight update on the disability insurance. It showed a increased variance of almost 270% higher. I don't know if that was just moving something from another category, or if it was just increasing it due to the cost of insurance or the number of employees that were taking that.
What page are you looking at, Mr. Malaguti? Is it a white or a blue sheet?
It is a white sheet right after the blue sheet for member benefits. Page 119 of 152 is what it shows in the third binder.
So disability insurance overall, if you're looking at your blue sheet, this sheet right here is the summary sheet. On disability insurance overall, there was no increase at all, either for the town or for the school.
Okay, because on our white paper on there, it shows disability insurance variance 266.7% increase. Last year's revised was 30,000. This year's is 110,000.
Yeah, I think that's actually a mistake.
Okay,
The
thank you.
revised budget for 2026 is not 30,000. So disability insurance for the schools budget is 30,000, and disability for the town is 12,000.
Okay,
I'm
thank you
sorry,
for the
disability
clarification.
is 80,000. So it looks like there's something missing of the 30.
Okay, thank you for the
Okay.
clarification.
All right, any other questions from the committee on member benefits for all town insurance? I see no one remotely either, no one here. Any questions or comments from the public? All right, on to inspectional services. Any questions from the committee on inspectional services? Seeing no one remotely or in the room, any public comment on inspectional services? See no one in the room or remotely. So that's Subcommittee A in its entirety. Would someone care to make a motion to consolidate Subcommittee A report. Ms. Richards makes a motion.
Second.
Mr. Dunn seconds. Is there any discussion among the committee? All right. Ms. Butler, how do you vote? Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto?
Yes.
Ms. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.
Ms. Reitman?
Yes.
Ms. Richards?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
No.
Mr. Snyder does not want to consolidate. Okay. Ms. Tompkins?
Yes.
Mr. Trudell?
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi, are you with us? I don't see you.
I'm with you now. I apologize. I came in a little late. I just left a wake in Northampton. So I'm going to abstain because I came in a little late.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Vecchi abstains. So I think we have 12, excuse me, what's the vote? Ms. Butler? 11, 1 and 1. All right, it's 12 yes, 1 no, 1 abstention. All right, now for the main motion, Mr. Friedman, would you care to move approval of Subcommittee A report? All right, Mr. Jacinto, would you care to second?
Second.
All right, we have a first from Mr. Friedman to approve Subcommittee A budget report and a second from Mr. Jacinto. Is there any discussion among the committee? All right, if not, I'll call for the vote. Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto?
Yes.
Ms. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.
Ms. Reitman?
Yes.
Ms. Richards?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins?
Yes.
Mr. Trudell?
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi?
Again, I'll abstain because I came
All
in
right.
late.
I believe we have 13 yes and 1 abstention. The motion carries. We're on to Subcommittee B at 7:37. Ms. Christine Richards is the chair of Subcommittee B. Good evening, Ms. Richards.
Good evening, all. Subcommittee B, chaired by myself. Also on it is Dennis Friedman, Maria Reitman, and David Trudell. And everybody, excuse me, I have laryngitis, so I will get through this as best as I can. So within Subcommittee B, we have Finance and Accounting. Finance and Accounting directed by Lynn Barrett. Finance Department led by Lynn Barrett manages all town financial operations, including accounting, payroll, budgeting, reporting, and audit support. FY27 budget increased by approximately 3.8%. Personnel costs reflect approximately 89% of that. And reflect contractual and succession adjustments. Other expenses declined due to reduced OPEB valuation and completion of digitization work. Subcommittee B recommended approval of the FY27 Select Board proposed budget of $1,286,794. Next up is procurement, led by Sandra Strassel, Procurement Officer. Procurement Department provides centralized purchasing to ensure compliant, cost-effective acquisition of goods and services townwide. This budget increased by 4.4%. Personnel increases are due to position reclassification, and other expenses declined after removing several equipment requests. Subcommittee B recommended approval of the FY27 Select Board proposed budget of $478,883. Next, we have assessing, led by Michael Horahan. The Assessor's Department is responsible for maintaining property records, valuations, administers excise taxes, and processes abatements and exemptions. The recommended FY27 assessing budget increased by approximately 3% overall. The subcommittee voted to reduce the budget by $2,700, reflecting the registry copying fees were reduced due to the registry providing digital copies for free. So that goes along with, let me go down to my notes. So making continued payment for printed copies unnecessary and inconsistent with the town's broader shift toward digitization. So the select board recommends, the subcommittee recommends approval of the reduced budget of $818,037. Next up is the treasurer and collector's budget. The treasurer collector's office performs two distinct functions for the town: billing and collecting of revenues, and manages all municipal funds, investments, and debt accounts. The budget increased by approximately 6%. This is driven by contractual salary and step obligations. The select board recommended approval of the subcommittee recommended approval of the select board's proposed budget, $1,054,331. Next is the information technology budget, led by Joe Young. It plans, manages townwide technology, cybersecurity, systems supporting municipal and public safety operations. So this was, this budget was, we had a lot of discussion about. The subcommittee, by a very slim margin, recommended approving an increase of $295,000 to the select board's approved budget, funding 3 dedicated public safety IT positions to provide full-time support to the police and fire operations. Therefore, the subcommittee recommended budget is $3,688,927. Here, on to debt and fixed costs, salary reserve fund. The salary reserve fund was not budgeted this year. There was not a need for it to be budgeted because all of the contractual obligations were fulfilled through FY27. So the subcommittee recommended approval of the select board's budget of $0. The finance committee reserve fund is a level funded budget. This is used to fund unexpected emergency town expenses due to unforeseen circumstances. Level funded, the subcommittee recommends approval of the select board's budget of $150,000. Next, tax, title, and foreclosures. Tax, title, and foreclosures appropriation ensures the town has the resources needed to manage delinquent taxes responsibly. This budget has been reduced by approximately 10% and is anticipated to fully support this mandated fund. The subcommittee recommends approval of the select board's budget of $236,000. Pension contributions. This budget is comprised of both town and non-educational based school department pension contributions. The increase in the FY '27 proposed budget is $23,274,394, an 8.1% increase from FY '26. The expected pension contribution amount is based on actuarial analysis. The subcommittee recommends that amount, the approval of the select board's budget of that amount. Next is unemployment compensation. The town budgets for unemployment compensation on a reimbursement basis. The increase in the FY '27 proposed budget is $64,780, a 108% increase from FY '26. This increase is based on current year payouts. Subcommittee recommends approval of the select board's budget of $125,000. Member insurance, not to be confused with member benefits. So this is the insurance part of it. And this is where those, the health and prescription coverage comes from. So this was increased by 13%, driven primarily by significant growth in medical and prescription costs. The subcommittee recommended approval of the select board's budget of $44,241,667. OPEB trust funding. These are the benefits earned by public employees over their years of service. This budget puts aside funds for the other post-employment benefits obligations. The budget is funded with a 4.4% increase. Subcommittee recommends approval of the select board's budget of $1,346,940. Compensated absences. Compensated absences account provides funding for accrued employee benefits such as vacation, sick, and personal time that may be paid out when an employee retires, resigns, or otherwise separates from service. The town continues to proactively budget $150,000 annually for compensated absences. The subcommittee recommends approval of the select board's budget of $150,000 for this fund. And that is the finance and accounting budget.
Thank you, Ms. Richards. Feel free to sit down if you wish.
Actually, that's not quite it.
Okay,
There's one more. We have the community debt and town community debt item that is not here. Is it further in? Anyway, the community debt is,
what's that department number?
it's within Subcommittee B. It's 710 to 755.
Okay.
So that consists of the principal interest, temporary interest, miscellaneous interest, and bond interest, and bond issuance.
All right, it is on the copy that was sent out this afternoon,
Okay.
right before, it's right
well-
actually before 129 salary reserve in the presentation, is it not?
Oh,
There it is.
there it is. Okay, got it. Oh, it's not in mine. Okay. Let me go back. Here it is. I knew I wrote it up. The FY budget for community debt is $18,217,056, reflecting an overall increase of $7,765, virtually 0% from the prior fiscal year. The subcommittee recommends approval of the select board's budget of 0% by a vote, unanimous vote. So that concludes my
All right, thank you.
presentation for Subcommittee B.
All right, well, since there's some changes from the select board budget, I'm going to go through these one by one.
Certainly.
So you feel free to sit down if you wish, or you can stay up there. if you-
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, great. All right, so first of all, does the committee have any questions on 133 finance and accounting budget with the select board recommendation of 1286,794 for FY '27? No questions from the committee. I see no one remotely. Any members of the public that wish to comment or ask questions about finance and accounting 133? I see no one present or remotely. With that, Mr. Malaguti, may I have a motion to approve finance and accounting budget?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Malaguti moves. Ms. O'Connor, would you care to second?
Seconded.
All right, we have a first from Mr. Malaguti, a second from Ms. O'Connor.
Mr. Becky is his hand up.
Mr. Vecchi,
Just a point of order. Are we voting on this whole thing, or are we going through it one at a time?
we're going to go through this particular subcommittee B one at a time because there's several changes from the select board budget.
Thank you.
All right. All right, seeing and hearing no other questions, and he got his hand down, that's good. All right. Ms. Butler, how do you vote on finance and accounting budget?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Mr. Reitman,
Yes.
Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins,
Yes.
Mr. Trudell,
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi.
Yes.
All right, I believe we have unanimous vote, 14, with no abstentions and no votes. Right, on to procurement, 138B. Any questions from the committee about the procurement budget? I see no one here or remotely. Is there any member of the public that has a question or wishes to comment? Again, seeing no one here or remotely. Mr. Ramey, would you care to move 138B procurement budget for 478,883 as proposed by the Board of Selectmen?
I make a motion to approve 138B as approved by the select board.
Ms. Richards, would you care to second? Excuse me, Ms. Reitman, would you care to second?
Yes.
Ms. Reitman?
Yes, I second.
Okay, second. So we have a first by Mr. Ramey, a second by Ms. Reitman. All set, Jeanette? Okay. Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto?
Yes.
Ms. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.
Ms. Reitman?
Yes.
Ms. Richards?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins?
Yes.
Mr. Trudell?
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi?
Yes.
All right, we have 14 yes, 0 no's, 0 abstentions. All right, assessing. Any questions from the committee about the 141B assessing a recommended budget of 82737? I see no one in the room. I see no one remotely. Any member of the public have a question? I see no one in the room, no one remotely. With that, Ms. Richards, would you care to move the assessment budget 141B?
I move the assessor budget 141B.
All right, Mr. Snyder, would you care to second?
Happy to second it.
All right, we have a first from Ms. Richards, a second from Mr. Snyder.
I just want to confirm, you read 820, but A and F is, the subcommittee is recommending 818.
Yes, that is my bad. So
Okay.
I will just make sure that we note that the motion is to approve the budget for 818,037. Thank you, Ms. Barrett. And that is the motion we're voting on. Okay?
Chair.
Right, so assessing for 818,037 as recommended by Subcommittee B. All set?
No, could you go over who moved it and who seconded it, please?
I moved it.
Ms. Richards moved it and Mr. Snyder seconded it. Right, for 818-037. Got ahead of myself. All right, any discussion among the board? I see no one remotely either. So for the vote, Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Reitman,
Yes.
Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins,
Yes.
Mr. Trudell,
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi.
Yes.
Right, we have 14 yes, 0 no's, 0 abstention, the motion carries. Slow down just a little bit, make sure I get it right this time. All right, we're on to 146B, Treasurer and Collector. With a proposed budget of $1,054,331 as proposed by the Board of Select. Are there any questions among the committee? Seeing and hearing none either in the room or remotely, is there any member of the public that has a comment or question? Seeing none remotely or in present, I will call for the vote. Ms. Butler, how do, oh, I got to do a motion, excuse me. So let's move on to Ms. Tompkins. How do you care to move 146 Treasurer and Collector?
So moved.
Right, Mr. Trudell, do you care to second that budget for $1,054,331?
Seconded.
Okay, we have a second, but first from Ms. Tompkins, a second from Mr. Trudell. Any discussion among the board? See none remotely and in the room. Go for the vote. Ms. Butler?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto?
Yes.
Ms. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.
Ms. Reitman?
Yes.
Ms. Richards?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins?
Yes.
Mr. Trudell?
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi?
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi, yes. So we have 14 yes, 0 no's, 0 abstentions. Thank you. All right. We now have Information Technologies Subcommittee B recommends an increase to the budget to a total of $3,688,927. Questions from the committee? Yes, Ms. O'Connor.
Just a question in your discussion. So obviously this is addressing the new initiative. So when you were discussing this, landing on these 3 new full-time employees, was that basically saying like that's sufficient enough to do the job? Like where did you land? How did you get to 3?
3 because it had to do simply for public safety. Only, those are earmarked for public safety, because there is less than 1 staff person dedicated for all of the public safety personnel. And I think Mr. Young from the Information Technologies here, that he could speak to that better than I could.
That's a good clarification. Thank you.
Sure.
All right, I have a couple more questions, and then maybe you can answer all of them, Mr. Young, if that's all right. So we'll call on you in just a moment. But in the meantime, Mr. Vecchi.
Well, more of a comment than a question. My comment is that we came into this with our meeting, 3-board meeting, needing to lose $2.5 million. I think this is probably the least desirable budget cycle to increase by 3. And I'll differentiate this from our inspectional services added position, where that's a revenue generating entity, which will offset that position. I just have a problem where we use the term public safety as a panacea to justify everything.
Okay.
And in this budget cycle, personally, to me, it's very inadvisable to add 3 positions. That's
right.
my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Dunn?
I'll let Mr. Young ask or answer first, and then I'll ask, because I'm going to ask some question of someone else.
Okay. Mr. Young, could you tell us a bit about these positions that are being proposed to add over the select board recommendation?
Sure. as Christine said, we have less than one FTE supporting 8 or 9 public safety sites. Fire stations, the dispatch center over at the sheriff's office, police headquarters. We're looking at sub-police stations around town. We just don't have the manpower to handle all of these demands. We have the fire chief and the deputy currently working on the database problems, network problems, because we don't have the manpower to help them out. And this resolves that issue that's come up over, the last 3 years.
Mr. Dunn?
I'd like to ask if any of them would be willing to answer. We have 3 of the 5 select board members in the room. What was the reason that this wasn't included before? Why did you guys not support this initiative? And if anyone has a perspective, I would love to hear it.
Thank you. Kevin Canty, member of the Select Board. So there was a directive to not have new initiatives and to try and maintain as much as possible without risking actual public safety or vital town functions, of which reasonable minds could differ, what that means, not increasing the budget beyond what is absolutely necessary to basically maintain level services throughout the community as much as possible. Any additions had to be a clear and present need or something that the town just simply could not do without. So this, and speaking more broadly, as was presented by the town manager's budget, there were a number of new initiatives and new positions sought by multiple department and division heads to not only advance the missions of their departments, but also continue to provide the current level of services that couldn't be supported. So there's been conversations as if there were no tough decisions made in this budget. There were a tremendous amount of tough decisions that were made by professionals prior to this ever getting a public meeting. And this not being included in that was one of those tough decisions.
Thank you.
You won't.
Mr. Ramey?
You mentioned that in a lot of instances, there's some less than ideal people performing some of these duties. Do you ever have to hire outside contractors to come in and?
Yeah, we just finishing up an organization and personnel report for the IT department. And it identifies that we have no structure in our department. And the report shows that we need a public safety division head, a mobile communications person, an applications person, and 2 others actually.
Yeah.
But with 3, we can get started and get things where we need to get them to going.
But
We have inspectional services. They are administering the online permitting software. And that's not their job, but we don't have the manpower to do that.
right. So what I'm asking though is right now, are you spending money to hire outside entities to come in and perform some of these
We
duties?
have some money in our budget for network engineering and things like that, yes, but not for these specific. So it's basically the assistant director and myself are doing the equivalent of putting plows on truck, fueling up the trucks, plowing the roads. We're going out and trying to do all of these things, and it's taken away from our own time. So it's a balance where outside entities were helping, and the balance has shifted that we need to bring expertise in-house.
Okay. So would you be saving money on contracting costs by hiring these people?
No, because these things just aren't getting done. They're getting done
Okay.
very slowly, very, reactionary, not progressive at all.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. Snyder?
What would the cost be if we had 1 hire rather than 3?
So the question is, what would, the cost be if we had one hire rather than three? Is it simply to say divide by three?
It's not exactly a third. I would say 120 if we hired one. Because one is a division head, and we'd roll the tech that's already quote unquote assigned under that person and start that division.
Well, I think in this economic climate we're in right now with high tax bills and high utility bills and everything, we got to really watch ourselves here. And I think that hiring three people is wrong. I would support putting another person in there to help public safety and their IT needs. But I think we should deduct the cost of the other two and approve that budget. That'd be my suggestion.
Any other questions from committee members? Ms. Tompkins? Oops, Mr. Mr. Malaguti and then Ms. Keating.
I'll let Ms. Keating go first.
I'm just wondering if you can talk a little bit more about what the impact would be if you don't have these positions, like what potential harms or what risks or concerns do you have?
Well, an easy one is we currently have about 50 devices that are scheduled to be rolled out to fire apparatus. They're sitting on a shelf and not being used. We can't support them.
Mr. Malaguti?
Thank you. This is more for Lynn, and then I have one for Mr. Young afterwards. But if we approve the three positions, what is the full cost to the budget? Because this is just the salary, but also what's the health and the insurance and benefits?
Ms. Lynn Barrett, the Director of Finance for the town.
We usually budget for about, it's like 35 to 40% of the salaries is equated to the benefits. When we prepare the benefits budget, we always have people coming and going, you know, and we have people that take no plans. We have people that take single plans. We have people that take family plans. We have people that retire and turn 65 and go on the lesser supplemental plans. So if the positions were added, you wouldn't necessarily have to add any money to the benefit budget, because I think that the benefit budget would be fine.
Okay, so it wouldn't necessarily increase anything per this budget that's allowed right now.
Yeah.
But it
Thank
could increase it by 120,000-ish, 40% of $300,000.
Potentially.
Okay.
Thank you. And this other question is for Mr. Young. If we did decide not to do all three, but decided to do one or two of them, out of those three, what are the most important ones that you would rather have at the initial onset?
Public safety division head and application specialist.
Thank you.
Mr. Vecchi, do you have a question for Mr. Young or a comment? If it's a comment, can you save it till we get into discussion?
I have a question for Lynn Barrett.
Ms. Barrett?
So
Say-
my question is that, so there may not be an immediate impact in the benefit package, but if we were fully staffed across the board, there would definitely be a long-term impact to the benefits budget, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
The answer is yes, Mr. Vecchi.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions, Mr. Friedman?
So Mr. Young, as I remember from our subcommittee meeting.
Speak into the mic, please.
As I remember from our subcommittee meeting, you spoke about the increasing level of services required of the IT department. So in a level services approach makes a lot of sense if the demands are level.
Correct.
But in this case, I think you indicated to us the demands have not remained level over the last few years. And this is kind of a, I won't say makeup kind of thing, but catch up, so it's not just, you mentioned about the fire apparatus that we can't utilize. I think you mentioned to us, things happen at after hours or at odd hours. In order to staff that, people have to be called in. And I don't know if it's an overtime, I don't know if it's you and the assistant that are doing it. But could you relay perhaps some of those other situations that happen that, as a result of not having the staffing?
Well, like you said, we have, the assistant got a call at midnight on Saturday or Sunday night from dispatch because someone got their account locked out. He unfortunately doesn't get overtime. But the tech that we have sitting at the police station currently, he gets calls, he's probably averaging 3 calls a week, and he gets overtime. It's when you talk about demand for service, we took 2 dispatch centers and we moved them to the sheriff. We still maintain all the technology. We had 8 users using those dispatch from police and fire. We're now up to 40. It's just on and on. Body cameras, it's technology, it's on a network. All these things we play a role in.
So if somebody gets locked out of the system, what exactly does that mean?
They forgot their password. On this
No, I
case,
mean, what
they
happens?
forgot their password. They can't log into the dispatch software to do their job.
So they can't do their job? They're
Correct.
sitting there and they can't do their job?
Yeah.
Ms. Reitman.
A function like unlocking the locked out user is usually performed by the outsourced resources, at least in the private sector. So I wonder if there's some kind of provision that prohibits doing that in this situation. I mean, this is a pretty straightforward, basic function that's usually outsourced.
I agree. We had this discussion at length this week, and Ryan, you want to come up and talk about it? The vendor doesn't provide that level of support to us, and the capability is not built into the platform.
Hi, Ryan Gill, Assistant IT Director. So you talk about lockout of the system. This in particular is the record system for the police. And there's CJIS requirements that won't allow an external or outsourced person to do this. So with the 40 dispatchers, if somebody gets locked out, their position is basically not being used the entire shift unless they get locked. So they can't take dispatch calls, can't take 911 calls. So instead of having 5 positions, you're down to 4. So the call needs to be answered and the person needs to be unlocked. This is all because of CJIS certification that the system has to be secure so no outside people can access data.
So it's the matter of giving access to the domestic outsourcing, for instance?
No, we cannot outsource it because everybody who touches the system has to be CJIS certified. And that means you have to go through certain testing, there's certain levels, and in order to even look at the system, look at the data in the system because it's criminal record stuff. So in order to access that, you need to have a certification to access system, and the tech needs to unlock the accounts if they get locked out during its dispatch shift.
So you have to have a dedicated certified resource,
Exactly.
local, who would be available 24/7 essentially.
Yep. And that goes to the one person who needs to be available 24/7 for 40 people possibly lock themselves out of dispatch or any other issue that could happen during the time of a shift because dispatch needs to be up 24/7 because it's a 911 call center.
I understand, thank you. This is why I voted for it, because I understand the need. However, I also brought up an issue with looking at the IT budget from a different perspective, because technology evolves so rapidly. And even town IT departments have to evolve as well. So I was wondering if there were any efforts to apply some modernization, to perhaps reconsider existing tech stack and the contracts that you have with the vendors. So at least there's some kind of offset. You get new resources, but you can also cut the budget in other areas by modernizing the tech stack and contractual agreements with the vendors. I understand, this is kind of
So
like,
with that,
Mhm.
the technology keeps increasing through both fire and PD, increasing the need for additional IT tech to keep up with pace on that. For example, the amount of users on both fire and PD, each side is about 140 people, which is probably the same size as, say, a Hanson or Halifax, at half a person supporting 24/7, including 54 apparatuses and another 50-something police cruisers that need to be up 24/7. So this is why Joe and myself are asking for the extra 3 positions.
no, I totally agree with that aspect, but there's also application, like Office 365. There's a lot of licensing agreements that could be cut. Was there an audit of all these applications that are currently being used?
So
And
one thing we look at with
prioritizing
the
them
Office
and
365 is, doing Microsoft license or license, for added security, you need to buy the next license. So we're at the proper license to have the highest security for access to the mail system, which sometimes may include correspondence regarding, public safety.
Mhm. Okay, well, I don't
Yeah.
expect you to just jump into it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that it would be a much favorable position if you could offer offsetting something from the budget on the tech stack side and the contractual side. Thank you.
Mr. Vecchi?
So my question revolves around the dispatch center. So we gave away Plymouth PSAP a couple of years, maybe a year or two ago, which not for this discussion, but in my opinion was a huge mistake because we also gave away $1 million in 911 grants. But the sheriff's department runs the PSAP now. The sheriff's department employs all of the dispatchers. The sheriff's department has a full-time IT department with CGIS access that can reset passwords. So why are we performing this type of function when we don't own the equipment, we don't employ the employers, we don't employ the users? So why isn't the sheriff's department, IT department, who does have CGIS access, resetting these passwords and performing those functions?
The agreement that was made with the sheriff, they would staff. The technology team would still support the technology. It was the agreement that was made, and that's what we have.
So the answer is it was a poor agreement that was reached.
I think it was beneficial to both sides. And there's a lot of upswing to this in the future, I believe.
Okay, so, but the end of the day is the town of Plymouth is still footing the bill for personnel that aren't town employees and equipment that isn't town of Plymouth equipment. So to me, it seems like a poor deal. And again, I'm not going to revisit it too much because I know who made the deal and it was very personality based. So how long?
Mr. Vecchi, I'd like you to confine your comments to when the board has discussion, please. This is not a question.
Okay, how long are we committed to this deal?
I don't know the answer to that, and I don't want to get into that right now, sir. You can make your comments when the board is in discussion. But if you have a specific question for Mr. Young about this budget, you may ask it. Otherwise, I want to move on.
So my question is, how long is it an open-ended that we are required to facilitate this type of support to the PSAP?
I believe it's we inked a 3-year deal with them, I believe.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions from the committee at the moment? All right, I have one. What's your staff to user support ratio? So about how many users are you
We
supporting?
currently have 8 staff.
Okay.
We manage 42 sites. We have 70 or 80 miles of fiber connecting all town in school buildings and radio communications towers. So it's more than just per person. If you look at, we have, I think, 40 mobile data terminals and cruisers. Every patrolman has a portable radio. They have mobile data terminals. They have mobile radios. So the list of equipment we support is,
Well, how many devices do you think you're supporting? I'm just trying to get a sense. I'm used to having metrics like this in the higher ed environment, so I'm just trying to gauge what your workload is like, that's all.
So when we talk about devices,
Yeah.
like Mr. Young said, we have the computers, which are mobile data terminals inside the cruisers. We have computers inside both the fire stations and the police station. We also have 2 radios, basically per officer per shift, which is basically the mobile radio inside the cruiser, and the portable, which is on their hip that they carry with them. Now, one thing with the radios is anytime a community outside Plymouth has a change to their programming, we need to reprogram our radios. So between us and fire, there's probably about close to 350 radios that need to be programmed or up to snuff on that every time there's an update. Same thing with the mobile data terminals and everything else like that. So devices are talking probably close to 1,000 devices that need hands-on touching at any time.
Okay, so I'm used to metrics of, 200 devices per support staff, but when you start talking about things like radios, isn't that something that's easily outsourced, the configuration of radios?
Could be. It
Okay.
would have to be.
I'm just probing a little bit. The other question is when you look at a system such as the permit system and the inspectional services, that's non-regulated data typically, or at least it's not as sensitive as criminal records. Are there hosting solutions for that just to lower the workload on the IT department?
For the
it is a hosted solution.
Okay. So when you say they're running it, they're not really running it.
They're administering it. They're giving people access to it.
Okay.
They're, for the most part, supporting it when people have questions. They're not calling the IT department, which we believe they should be. If we had a fully staffed department, they're calling Jason and Kristen, and they're helping where we should be doing that work.
But it's a hosted solution. Okay, thank you, sir. All right, any other questions for Ms. Reitman?
One more question, if I can. You mentioned the consulting budget, right? So what services fall under consulting budget?
We have, I believe, $54,000 in this budget. We're reducing that down by 10 with the cuts that were made to by 10,000, and we use that majority for network engineering changes.
Yeah, which is not significant amount.
We have a
It's very
very
modest.
complex system.
Mhm.
We have $350,000 worth of remote network switches. Ports need to be enabled, disabled, VLANs for HVAC, on and on and on. It's not a,
Yeah, so it's a very limited number of hours probably that you.
yes,
Okay,
it's
thank
not.
you. Mhm.
Mr. Dunn, you have your hand up?
I just want to make a motion.
Okay.
I think at this point, we probably know how we're all each voting on this, regardless of what the answer to the next
All right,
question
well,
is.
I'm not ready to have that happen just yet, but I'll keep that under consideration. Any further questions from the committee? All right, is there anyone from the public that wishes to comment? I see no one in the room, see no one remotely. So, Mr. Dunn would like to make a motion to do something.
I don't know what. I'll make a motion to recommend the subcommittee recommendation.
All right, so we have a motion from Mr. Dunn to approve the subcommittee recommended budget for 155 Information Technologies for $3.688927 million. Is there a second?
I will second.
Mr. Ramey would like to second. All right, is there a discussion from the board? Mr. Dunn?
I think I want to echo what some of the people up here have said. I'm not sure if I can support 3 additional positions. I think that we obviously do need help, and I think that something needs to be done about it. But I also think we came into this budget cycle with the sky is falling, we have no money, we're going to have to lay people off in a year or two, and now we're going to add 3 positions. I'm just not sure that we can afford it. I think the work is important, but I'm also kind of alarmed at the comments that I've seen from up here, where I think people think that like outsourcing is just going to save us a ton of money. Historically, outsourcing public services actually cost people money. So it's generally not the case. So I think like us looking for an easy solution and saying, oh, why don't we just outsource this task is like a lazy way out that doesn't really make sense on a lot of things. So I also disagree with outsourcing the stuff that we've been talking about.
Thank you. Mr. Snyder, I saw your hand up.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't think we should be, this committee should be adding money to the select board budgets. I think we should be watching those budgets, trimming those budgets, doing the due diligence that we're supposed to be doing for town meeting. And I would not support this at all. I would support some kind of compromise of maybe adding one person. That way that the budget would be balanced and not higher. So something like that, but this is not a good idea.
All right, thank you. Mr. Becky, did you have further comment you wanted to make? I cut you off earlier. Mr. Becky?
Sorry, it's, still driving. My comment is we can't just use the term public safety as a panacea and sprinkle that over everything to make it a crisis. Public safety is very important, but at the same time, these functions have been getting performed. Maybe not expeditiously as we would like them, but this is not the budget cycle to add 3 positions, and I am adamant against adding 3 positions. Thank you.
All right. Any other? Mr. Ramey?
Yeah, so I think at first, when I heard that 3 positions were slipped in for $295,000 by the subcommittee, my first reaction was like, whoa, you did what? But after hearing what they were for, I was actually very strongly for it, especially hearing the state that our IT department is in with struggling. Also, I know I work with some of this software, and it is mandated by the state that we use it. So it's not necessarily something that we can recontract or find different solutions for. So, it's not going to go away, and having the personnel to support it is definitely something that we need.
Mr. Dunn?
Maybe we should just get this part out of the way. I'd like to make a motion to amend back to the select board recommended budget.
All right, well, we do have a motion on the table at the moment.
I'm motioning to amend the motion.
Is there a second to the amendment that's on the
Second.
floor right now, which is to approve the subcommittee recommendation?
I'll second that motion.
All right, Mr. Snyder seconds that motion. All right, further discussion? Seeing and hearing none. I notice the chief, Foley's standing here. Did you have something you wanted to? Brief comment?
I just
We
have
are in discussion, so.
yeah, and I don't want to interrupt that, but I just feel as though that I do need to set the record straight with some comments that were made from Mr. Vecchi. The dispatch center, and I was just speaking with the police chief, the deputy police chief. It's a project that we've been working very hard on for the past several years. The cost was a cost shift, not a cost increase. We didn't lose any grant funding. Any of the 911 grant funding that we did receive has been transferred to the dispatch center to help support it. The equipment is town equipment, so we still hold and control that equipment. It does need to be supported. As far as any additional costs, we are in a contract, so there is no additional costs. It's been a great deal for the town. It's actually increased the efficiency of our 911 system. Certainly our emergency medical dispatching and our call dispatch time. So it has had a huge positive impact, not any negative impact as Mr. Vecchi implied. And I just wanted to set that record straight.
All right, so thank you for that clarification on that particular topic. Ms. Richards?
Thank you. So I haven't commented on this, although I will. As chair of the subcommittee for this, I did make the recommendation to add these 3 positions. As a former IT director for public sector, for specifically the county, and being only one IT person for Plymouth County. It is essential to fully staff IT. Cybersecurity is not just a hot topic, it is a reality. And it is a reality that we protect our cyber assets. And that is why I made the motion and was supported in the subcommittee for the public safety only IT staff. Because when and if, probably when, our assets in the public safety realm get hit by a cyber attack, that is when everybody's going to turn around and say, why haven't we staffed this? Why aren't those assets upgraded? Why don't we have upgrades to all of those? And that is why I made that motion, and that is why it was supported. So it's not just a matter of, kick the can down the road. We don't have the money this year. Well, you know what? We're not going to have the money next year, the following year, when these assets get hit. And when you pick up the phone to call fire or police and they can't respond because their computer in their cruiser isn't working or something is not responsive. So that is why I made that motion. That is why I stand behind it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Richards. All right, any other comment? All right, so we had a motion from Mr. Dunn, seconded by Mr. Ramey, to originally select, to move ahead the subcommittee recommendation. That was later amended by Mr. Dunn and seconded by Mr. Ramey. Oh, yeah, but I think, okay, it was Snyder, okay. All right, so the motion we are voting on is to recommend approval. A yes vote means recommending approval of the Board of Selectmen budget for $3,393,927. And a no vote is to not do that. All right. Questions from the committee? If not, I will call for the vote. Ms. Butler, how do you vote? Oh, Mr. Trudell? Sorry, I didn't see you.
Have we made a motion to amend?
Yes.
Or am I voting on the main motion?
We had a main motion and the movers decided to amend it.
Okay, so we would vote the amendment first, and if that passes, then you have to go back to the other one. If we,
So is the question, what are you voting on?
that was the question.
All right, the
but
motion
other
on the
ha-
table is to approve the select board budget. Not the subcommittee's budget,
Okay, thank you.
all right?
In essence, the amendment changed the number.
The
Right.
amendment was to, instead of approving the subcommittee budget, was to approve the
Exactly.
Board of Selectmen budget for $3,393,927. Everybody know what they're voting on
Well-
now? And a yes vote will be to do that. Yes, Mr. Ramey?
We're voting to amend the motion, and then we have to vote to approve the select board's budget again, correct? Yes.
All right, I don't think we need to do that, but I will go along with that for now.
Okay.
So we're going to vote to amend.
Yes. We're approving whether or not to amend it, and if that approves, then you're voting to actually approve the select board budget.
Clearly, I didn't read that chapter very well in Robert's rules. So we are going to vote on amending the main motion to be approval of the select board budget. That's a yes, and a no is to leave it as the subcommittee recommendation. I think I'm clear on that. Is everyone else clear? Okay, great. Ms. Butler, how do you vote on amending the main motion?
I think I'm voting yes.
All right, you want to have the select board budget.
No.
You're amending the main motion to approve the select board budget.
Yes, select.
Or put another way, you're setting ourselves up to approve the select board budget of 3.239 million.
I want the subcommittee.
You want the subcommittee, then you would vote no on this.
No, okay.
Okay? Well, that was fun. Mr. Dunn, how do you vote?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Friedman,
No.
Mr. Jacinto,
No.
Ms. Keating,
No.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
No.
Mr. Ramey,
No.
Mr. Reitman,
No,
Ms. Reitman, I'm sorry.
it's okay.
Ms. Reitman votes no.
No.
Ms. Richards,
No.
Mr. Snyder,
Hey,
I can't hear you, sir.
I said no.
No, okay. Ms. Tompkins,
Yes.
Mr. Trudell,
No.
all right, Mr. Vecchi,
Yes.
all right. All right, so the motion to amend does not carry. We're back to the original motion, which is to approve the subcommittee recommended budget of 3.688927. Mr. Malaguti,
I'd like to make a motion to amend the subcommittee's budget by reducing 82,000 for the new budget for the subcommittee at $3,606,927, and that is due to the answer I got earlier about if you could only get one or two, what ones would be the most important. So I'm funding in that budget the public safety division head and the public safety application specialist that was given through the answer that I asked.
Second.
all right, so we have a motion to amend the original motion of 3.668 by reducing it, in particular, to fund, what are the two positions again, Mr. Malaguti?
The public safety division head of 125,000 and the public safety application specialist of 88,000.
So 88,000, and what was the first number, sir?
125,000.
125,000. So it's a public safety division head, and what was the other position? Application specialist. All right, so that means the new number is $3393927. And we're going to add 213, right? Even. That's 927, that's 606, 3606, 927. Is that what you come up with, Mr. Richards? Or someone?
Yes, that's what I came up with.
Okay. So, try this again. All right, Mr. Malaguti made a motion to amend the original motion, and Mr. Dunn has seconded that amendment to now have the subcommittee recommended budget be $3,606,927 to specifically fund just the public safety division head and the application specialist, using numbers of 125,000 and 88,000 respectively, for a total budget of 3,606,927. Is there a discussion among the committee? Seeing and hearing none. Ready? Got the movers and the seconders, Ms. White? Great. Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto?
Yes.
Mr. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti?
Yes.
Sorry, Ms. Keating. My bad. Ms. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
No.
Right? Ms. Reitman?
Yes.
Ms. Richards?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
No.
Ms. Tompkins?
Yes.
Mr. Trudell?
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi?
No.
Right? With all precincts reporting, we're tallying the votes. Eleven yeses, 3 noes, no abstentions. The motion carries.
Thank you.
Right. I believe there were any questions on debt and interest?
I
I'm
think
gonna
we
try
we
to
have to
consolidate.
vote.
We have to vote.
We have to vote on the main motion now.
I'm sorry. Good call. Thank you. All right, so now for the main motion, which is to approve the amended subcommittee recommendation, which is now 3606-927. Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Reitman,
Yes.
Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
No.
Ms. Tompkins,
Yes.
Mr. Trudell,
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi.
No.
Okay. All right, so 12 yes, 2 noes, no abstentions. The motion carries. That was to approve this number. No, that was a motion to amend. Okay. As I was reminded. All right, is there any interest in approving the remainder of Subcommittee B?
Yes. There is.
So moved.
All right, and, all right, so,
I will second that.
okay, let's slow down. So we are now going to approve the remainder of Subcommittee B's budget, and I will rattle off these budget departments. It's 710 debt and interest, 129 salary reserve, 132 finance committee reserve fund, 158 tax title and foreclosures, 911 pension contributions, and 913 unemployment compensation, 914 member insurance, 915 OPEB trust funding, 916 compensated absences. So that's the remainder of Subcommittee B. So we have a first from who was first on that motion? It's from Mr. Dunn, and who seconded?
I second it.
Ms. Richards. Any discussion among the committee? Seeing none in the room, seeing none remotely. Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Reitman,
Yes.
Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Tompkins,
Yes.
Mr. Trudell,
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi.
Yes.
All right, the motion carries by 14-0. All right, it's 8:43. We're going to take a 5-minute recess and restart the proceedings at 8. We'll make it 8:50. 7-minute recess. Good evening again. We're now on to Subcommittee C, Public Safety. Ms. Gail Butler, Chair of that subcommittee, is going to present.
Thank you. I'm Gail Butler. And on my committee were Tom Jacinto, Brianna Keating, and Miles Ramey. Okay, we'll start with the police. And Police Chief Dana Flynn would have been presented this budget. The fiscal year 27 total budget for the police department is approximately $19.5 million, up nearly $2 million, or 11.7%. The required 2% COLA increase combined with the salaries planned for the hiring of 16 new officers and 1 sergeant accounts for most of the increase. The department is considerably short-handed. Year 3 of the body-worn camera program is to be paid for by the town and will amount to a $270,000 increase in R&M equipment. ARPA funds paid for the program for the first 2 years. Approximately $25,000 additional funds are to go to training and ammunition for the new hires. Approximately $202,000 originally approved by town meeting in April of '25 for the replacement of an armored vehicle will be returned as the police department is not moving forward on this expenditure. Any questions?
Right.
Okay.
Then you have Energy and Environment.
I was doing fire next. Do you want?
Okay, go ahead and do fire. I'm sorry.
Okay. Fire Department. Fire Chief Neil Foley presented. The overall spending change from fiscal year 26 is an increase of approximately $1.5 million, or 8.1% increase. Most of this increase stems from the personnel service accounts covering COLA increases and contractual obligations. The inclusion of the additional $500,000 in overtime spending is factored in to ensure compliance with current and FPA standards. State mandates have led to an equipment expenditure of $179,000 to comply with new rules dealing with PFAS. In addition, handheld thermal imaging devices are being acquired for the increased safety of occupants and firefighters. Emergency Management. The fiscal year 27 spending for this department reflects an increase of approximately $48,000, or 3.3%. A diminishing grant coverage of the director's salary coupled with a 2% contractual increase accounts for the personnel services change. A 2.5% increase for the annual cost of the combined police, fire, and emergency medical dispatch services will amount to approximately $33,000. Energy and Environment, presented by David Gould, Director of Energy and Environment. The overall department increase for fiscal year 27 amounts to approximately $18,000, or 1.9%. A job reclassification plus COLA requirements are the causes of the increase. 2 dam inspections are planned for $14,000 to meet Mass Office of Dam Safety rules. In continuing efforts to save money, the beach sticker program is being amended, EV charging rates adjusted, EV vehicles acquired were appropriated, and solar projects are being proposed.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for?
I've got one more.
One more, which one?
Harbor Master.
Okay, my bad. All right.
Okay, Chad Hunter, Harbor Master, presented. The overall fiscal year 27 spending for this department is a reduction of $4,457, or 0.6%. Contractual step increases and a job reclassification account for the personnel services change. Equipment spending is down $17,500. A new mooring software package is to be acquired to automate and digitize town records for $10,000. That's it.
Okay, great. Any questions about the police department from the committee? Police Department budget? I see none in the room, none remotely. All right, I'm going to go through each of these, and then we may want to try to consolidate this particular budget. Any questions from the public about the police budget? I see none in the room, none remotely. All right, fire, any questions from the committee about the fire department budget? None in the room, none remotely. All right, any members of the public wish to comment on the fire department budget? All right, emergency management. Any questions from the committee on emergency management? I see none in the room, none remotely. Any members of the public have a question on emergency management? All right, harbor master. Any members of the committee question? I see none remotely or in the room. No members of the public are indicating they wish to comment. Energy and environment. I see no questions in the room or remotely. Oh, yes, Mr. Malaguti.
Thank you. I'm just going through the salaries and wages for the energy environment under energy advocate. Was that, I believe that was funded through a program through Eversource or the state, if I recall. Is that still the case, or is this now part of the budget?
So this year, for the first time, we reflected all of the grant-funded positions that are in the budget, and then we provided an offset of those grants, so the net effect would be 0. So that position is being funded 100% through a grant.
Okay, so it's just so that we can see what it would be if it wasn't from the
Right.
grant and that, okay,
Right.
thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Barrett. All right, any other questions on energy and environment? Any member of the public have a question? I see none remotely or in the room. All right, is there a motion to consolidate Subcommittee C into one motion?
I make a motion to
I have to cover
He's got to do it.
from
Make it
Butler here
complicated.
in a moment. So who made the motion?
I did.
All right, Ms. Richards made the motion.
I'll second it.
And
Mr. Ramey?
Mr. Ramey seconded. Ms. Butler, you can come here back.
Okay,
here.
thank you.
Tally the vote, please.
Thank you, John.
All right. All right, any discussion among the committee before I call the vote? Seeing and hearing none. Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
All right, Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Reitman,
Yes.
Mr. Richards,
Yes.
Ms. Richards.
Mr. Richards never votes.
I know.
Ms. Richards, yes, will vote.
I voted
Yes.
for you. Ms. Richards is yes. Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins.
Yes.
Mr. Trudell,
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi.
No,
Mr. Vecchi says no. Okay, so the motion to consolidate Subcommittee C
13-1.
carries by 13-1, no abstentions. All right, now on the motion, is there a motion to approve, let's see, Mr. Trudell, would you care to make a motion to approve the Subcommittee C report?
I make a motion to approve the Subcommittee Report C.
Yeah, which is the Select Board but recommended budget. And Mr. Vecchi, would you care to second?
no, I would not.
Okay. Ms. Butler, would you care to second? All right, Ms. Butler seconds. So we have a first from Mr. Trudell, a second from Ms. Butler. All set, Ms. White? Okay, great. Any discussion? All right. Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Ms. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Reitman,
Yes.
Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Mr. Tompkins,
Yes.
Mr. Trudell,
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi.
No,
Right, we have 13 yes, 1 no, No abstentions. The Subcommittee C budget, as recommended by the Select Board, is approved. We're on to DPW Subcommittee D. Flip to 7. Okay. Go ahead, I'll find your piece. I got it. Right there.
Am I all set to begin, Mr. Lally?
Public Works.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. Emily Tompkins, Chair of Subcommittee D. On the team was myself, Mr. Lally, Mr. Malguti, and Mr. Trudell. Overall, DPW showed an increase of 0.7%. So first to engineering. I'm just going to stick high level here. So engineering saw an increase in 2.6%, and that is mainly due to personal services due to contractual obligations. For highway, we saw an increase of 2.1%. Again, most of that increase is due to contractual obligations. We did discuss the staffing vacancies. There were 8 vacancies last year, but now they're only down to 4 vacancies. For administration, we saw a reduction in the budget by 0.3%. This is mainly due to reductions in staff licensing stipends needed. Next, we have building maintenance, which is an increase of 3.9%. So there is a budget observation that there's a reduction in personnel services because 2 vacancies are being cut from fiscal year 27 budget. We also discussed the process of assessing the building maintenance needs in town and how we can be strategic in our planning for short-term urgent needs and long-term planning for building maintenance. Oops. Next, we have snow and ice, and that was budget was level funded, so there's no changes from last fiscal year. And snow and ice contains all the expenses related to snow and ice removal, contractual, and overtime from staff as well. Next is fleet maintenance, and we have a reduction in the budget by 11.5%. So that's mainly due because there was an adjustment made to better reflect where the budget needs for fuel are. So there was a reduction in fleet division vehicle fuel budget line because it's been underspent typically, and this was moved to facilities maintenance division budget's vehicle fuel as that is where they were needing funding, so that kind of balanced out in reality where the budget needs are. Then for solid waste, we have an increase of 3.5%, again, mainly due to contractual obligations and overtime. And we also discussed as a team about, it being more cost effective to continue to promote recycling with the transfer stations, and the town and schools are also exploring various food waste composting programs, which would continue to reduce the tipping fees and expense for solid waste disposal. Next, we have the crematory. This is an increase of 19.2%, and this is mainly due to contractual obligations, but actually they filled the administrative assistant position, and that salary is split between cemetery and crematory. Next, we have cemetery. Oh, did I say that wrong? Crematory is what I just went over with. Cemetery showed an increase of 1.3%. Again, mostly contractual step raises and filling that administrative assistant position that's split with the prior division. And lastly, we have Parks and Forestry, an increase of 2.8%, again, mainly due to contractual obligations. And that concludes this report.
Thank you, Ms. Tompkins. All right, are there any questions from the board around DPW Engineering 411. I see none here. Mr. Snyder.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to make a quick comment that I was impressed with this particular group because they actually confined to less than 3%, which is really important nowadays when we're seeing budgets going up 6 and 8%. If they're responsible, but these are all very responsible budgets. Just wanted to say that.
Thank you for that comment. Any questions from any other member of the committee on engineering? All right. Any public questions or comment on 411 and engineering, DPW engineering? All right. The next, any questions from the committee on 420D highway? Seeing and hearing none. Any questions from the public on 420 highway? All right, moving on then to DPW Administration 421D. Any questions from the board on that budget? All right, seeing here none. Any questions from the public or comments from the public on 421D? All right, thank you. Seeing and hearing none. Building Maintenance 422D. Questions from the board on that budget? Yes, Mr. Malaguti.
Thank you. This is more comment than question. So when we do look at the next future years' budgets for building maintenance, especially for electricity, we'll be seeing them going down because of the programs that we voted for the last couple of meetings for the solar project. So that'll be a nice savings for the town on that, but also bringing up the utilities for streetlights around town. That's going up 50% in cost for electricity usage due to the cost of electricity. So I think since we're now spending nearly $500,000 for the streetlights, it may be time for the conversation to rear its head again for the town to purchase from Eversource the streetlights so that we can have a substantial cost savings to the taxpayers with minimal maintenance on the town's end. Thank you.
All right, any other questions on building maintenance? Any public comment on building maintenance? And again, let's confine this to questions and save the comments for our discussion if we can. All right, for 24-23 snow and ice. Yes, Mr. Friedman.
So very briefly, budgeting $1,366,415, the chance of that being the actual expenditure for snow and ice is probably not a snowball's chance in hell. It offends me when we're estimating something to put a number in there that would lead the public to believe we know what it's going to be. So I'm not going to bother to buck the system too much, but you know, $1.4 million would probably be a much better number, or something like that that had zeros at the end. So we would be indicating to the town, we think it's going to be about this much, but we really don't know what it's going to be.
All right, now I'll wait for Mr. Dunn to respond, ask his question, and then I will respond to your question.
I was just going to respond and say that snow and ice, we're not allowed to budget less than we budgeted the year before, so increasing it by a lot doesn't make sense because it's the only area of the budget where we're allowed to deficit spend, and everything else we're not allowed to. So I think we try to be conservative with how much we raise it because we can't lower it the next year. So that's probably why it didn't go all the way up to the number that you're saying.
And, you know, what happens when we go over is it's just made up from other sources of funds. So, but it has to be something. And I think, as Mr. Dunn, I think there's a sound approach that the town uses to that. So that's a comment. Any other questions on snow and ice? Anyone from the public wishes to comment on the snow and ice budget? All right, seeing and hearing none, I'll move on to 425D, fleet maintenance. Any questions from the committee? Any questions from the public? Seeing none remotely or in person, it's on to 433D, solid waste operations. All right. Any questions from the committee? Any questions from the public? Seeing and hearing none. 491D, crematory. Any questions from the committee? Seeing and hearing none. Any comment or question from the public? All right. Cemetery, 491D. Questions from the committee? Questions from the public? All right, Parks and Forestry, 492D. All right, I see none from the committee, either present or remote. No questions. Any comment from the public? Seeing and hearing none. May I have a motion to consolidate Subcommittee D into one approval?
So moved.
Mr. Friedman it makes the motion. Mr. Snyder, I believe, seconded. Is there any discussion among the board to consolidate Subcommittee D into one approval? Seeing and hearing none. Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto?
Yes.
Ms. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.
Ms. Reitman?
Yes.
Ms. Richards?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Mr. Tompkins?
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins? Almost made it. Mr. Trudell?
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi?
Yes.
All right, motion carries 14-0. Now on the main motion to approve Subcommittee C report, which is recommending the Subcommittee D, which is recommending the Select Board budget. Let's see. Mr. Friedman, would you care to move that?
So moved.
Mr. Jacinto?
Second.
Second, all right, so this is to approve this is consolidated approval of Subcommittee C Select Board budget.
D.
Okay? D. All right. I think
It's T.
Mr. Friedman, who moved this? Mr. Friedman moved it, and I think Mr. Jacinto seconded it.
I moved Subcommittee D as in Dennis.
Jacinto. Right, so just Friedman first, Jacinto second. Ms. White, got it? Okay, great. Ms. Butler, how do you move on the approval of Subcommittee D Select Board budget?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Wright,
Yes.
Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins.
Yes.
Mr. Trudell.
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Subcommittee D, Select Board budget is approved. All right, we are on to Subcommittee E.
Hi, again, I'm Christine Richards. I'm here to present Subcommittee E, Planning and Development, Health and Human Services. I chaired this committee as well. I guess I picked the short straw, along with Dennis Friedman, Emily Tompkins, and Scott Vecchi. So for this, I think Mr. Snyder will be happy. The total for this budget for both Planning and Development, Health and Human Services came in at negative 0.1%. So that is very exciting. So we'll start off with Planning and Development. directed by Lauren Lind. The mission of the Consolidated Department of Planning and Development is to coordinate town planning, community, and economic development to guide long-range growth and fair development oversight. The budget decreased by 8.6%. That was a result of personnel decline, reduction from filling the director position from Lee Hartman's retirement at a lower step. So when Ms. Lynn took over as director, she came in at a lower step than what Mr. Hartman left at. So the Subcommittee E recommended approval of this budget of $1,032,459. Next, we have the Redevelopment Authority, led by Paul Nocevelli. The Plymouth Redevelopment Authority administers housing and redevelopment programs to improve properties and support community development. This is a level serviced and level funded budget with a 0% change from FY26. Subcommittee E recommends approval of the Select Board proposed budget of $24,848. Next is Animal Control, led by Michelle Brady's group. Plymouth Animal Control Office's primary mission is to protect public and health animal safety, enforce animal laws, and provide sheltering and reunification services. The overall increase was less than 1%, driven by contractual personnel services. Subcommittee E recommends approval of the Select Board's proposed budget of $228,904. Public Health, led by Karen Keene, Director of Public Health. Public Health Division protects and promotes community health through prevention, regulation, and partnerships. Now, mind you, this is a very brief overview of what they do, what all of these departments do. Observation is budget increased by approximately 2%. Personnel drivers rose modestly. Subcommittee E recommends approval of the Select Board budget of $463,866. Center for Active Living, also known as CAL, led by Cheryl Jones, provides programs and services supporting wellness, independence, and engagement for older adults. Increase of approximately just under 3%. Personnel drivers increases drove that. Subcommittee E recommends approval of the Select Board's budget of $952,817. Next up, Veterans Services. Veterans Services led by Roxanne Whitbeck. They assist veterans and families in assessing benefits, financial support, and services. Their budget decreased approximately 7% this year due to lower projected benefit payments. Majority of spending is reimbursable benefits. Subcommittee E recommends approval of the Select Board proposed budget of $582,796. Next, disabilities. I was really surprised at this budget. Led by Emily Wilson. Plymouth Commission on Disabilities promotes accessibility and equal participation for residents with disabilities and advises town on compliance. This is a level funded, 0% change, entirely operating expenses, grants funded separately from parking fines. This proposed budget, and the subcommittee recommends approval of it, is $350. Next up is the library, led by Manny Leet, and I hope I pronounced that properly. Plymouth Public Library provides free access to learning resources, programs, and community engagement across Plymouth. The budget increased approximately 2%. And the subcommittee recommends approval of their budget of $2,433,329. Recreation Department, run by Ann Slusser, Recreation Director. Plymouth Recreation Division delivers recreational programs and manages beaches, fields, community facilities for all ages. Budget of increased approximately just under 9%. Personnel reflects staffing-driven operations with minimal growth and other costs. Subcommittee E recommends approval of the Select Board proposed budget of $671,393. Subcommittee E appreciates the work the staff do for the town and its residents and guests. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ms. Richards. All right, I'm going to go down through each of the budgets, and this will be a time for committee members to ask questions. Please save your comments for the committee discussion. And so I'll start with 175E, Planning and Development. Any questions from the committee on this budget? I see none in the room, none remotely. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to comment or question on this particular budget? I see none, so we'll move on to 189E, Redevelopment Authority. Any questions from the committee on this budget? I see none in the room, none remotely. Any members of the public wish to comment? All right, moving on. Animal Control, 292E. Any questions from the committee on this budget? I see none from the committee, either remotely or in the room. Any members of the public wish to comment? I see no one. All right, 510E, Public Health. Questions from the committee? I see none from the committee remotely or in the room. Any member of the public wish to comment on public health budget? I see none. Center for Active Living. Any questions from the committee? I see none. And any member of the public wish to comment or question? Okay. 543E, Veteran Services. Any questions from the committee? I see none. Any members of the public wish to comment or question? I see none. 549E, Disabilities. Any questions from the committee? I see none remotely or in the room. Anyone from the public? Question, comment? None. The Library, 610E. Any members of the committee have a question, comment? Question, Rob. And any member of the public? I see none. All right, 630E, Recreation. No committee members have their hands raised. No members of the public are indicating they wish to speak on this budget. All right, that is Subcommittee E. Let's start from the top. Ms. Butler, would you care to make a motion to consolidate Subcommittee E? Right, into the slip. All right, and is there a second from Mr. Dunn by any chance?
Second.
All right, we have a first and a second to consolidate approval for Subcommittee E. Any discussion? All right, seeing and hearing none. Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto?
Yes.
Ms. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.
Ms. Reitman?
Yes.
Ms. Richards?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins?
Yes.
Mr. Trudell?
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi?
Yes.
All right, we have 14 yes, 0 no's, and 0 abstentions. That motion carries. And now for the main motion, which is to approve Subcommittee E's report, which is for the recommended Select Board budget. Is there, let's see, Mr. Friedman, would you care to move that?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Jacinto, would you care to second?
Seconded.
All right, we have a first from Mr. Friedman, a second from Mr. Jacinto. And we'll call for the vote. If there's no, all right? Discussion. Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto?
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Reitman,
Yes.
Ms. Richards.
Yes.
Mr. Snyder. Mr. Snyder.
Yes.
All right, Ms. Tompkins.
Yes.
Mr. Trudell.
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi.
Yes.
All right, the motion carries 14-0. Select Board budget for Subcommittee E is approved by A and F. And now we're on to School Board. Mr. Brian Dunn, who's Chair of Subcommittee F, and I also note that we have in attendance this evening, I believe it's Dr. Adam Blaisdell and Dr. Chris Campbell, who may join in the discussion at some point. Thank you all, by the way, for coming this evening. Go ahead, Mr. Dunn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to the other members of our subcommittee, Emily Tompkins, Brianna Keating, Molly O'Connor, and Miles Ramey. And thank you to Doctors Blaisdell and Campbell for all the time you spent with us. I think everyone in this room has seen the school budget presentation at least once. I know I've seen it 4 times. So I'm going to be a little quick because we've already seen this. The budget for the Plymouth Public Schools, or the Select Board recommended budget, is $133,119,875, which represents an increase of 3.4%, 4.1% on salaries, and 0.8%. Thank you all. And I come up and everyone just takes off. And 0.84%.
It's a hat.
For the rest of the cost. I want to commend the Plymouth schools for some of the creativity they had in creating this budget. I know they found about $1.7 to $1.8 million through creative fashions, including looking at retirements, looking back through the budget, and adjusting some of the numbers, pulling money out of revolving accounts. Something that I just want to flag is not going to be possible going forward. I know we pulled an extra $400,000 out of the school bus revolving fund this time around, and it's something that we're not going to be able to do. So we're going to have to figure that out. But I appreciate the creativity this year, and obviously while we're facing, I think, similar issues to communities around us, but I wanted to flag the one thing I think that's more unique to Plymouth, which is our transportation budget. And we do have probably one of the best transportation contracts in the state right now. That has possibly 1 year left, and that's it. So our transportation costs could significantly increase over the next 2 years. And obviously, being the largest municipality in the state, we have a lot more area to cover than other people. I think I want to just go to, like, we talk about cost per student a lot. And if you look at our cost per student, it's pretty on par with what is across the state. We're a little below the state average right now. But if you look at the different parts of that funding and you look through transportation, we're spending a lot more on transportation per student than everyone else, which means that even though we're spending the same, we're spending less on education and more on transportation just as a function of the town. So just being so large obviously increases our costs and the transportation costs. And as Mr. Lally mentioned earlier, $40 million in unfunded mandates that we have from the state play a really large role in this budget, and why it's, I mean, the increase is only 3.4%, but you look at it, $133 million is a ton of money to most of us. So I just wanted to flag the transportation part of that, the increase in high needs students that we have, long-term behavioral and mental health support that students require, uncertainty that we're facing with state and federal funding right now, and the expanding needs that we have for early childhood education. So I think the schools department did a great job this year, but I think we're going to have an even bigger challenge next year to create a budget that meets the needs of our students, but also is within the limits that we're given for total monies through the town. So that's the overall school budget. We also have the Medicaid reimbursement, which increased by about 1.1% from $336,000 to 340,000, and then a decrease of about 16% for out-of-district transportation, down from 82,000 to 69,000. So if anyone has any questions, I'll take them.
All right, so do you want to have Dr. Campbell or Blaisdell say anything, or do you want
I mean, if either of them would like to, they're
to make a
certainly more than welcome.
brief remarks, please?
Good evening, everyone. Sorry I'm remote. It just happened to work out for my schedule. I would prefer to be there in person, but I think Mr. Dunn did an outstanding job of sort of summarizing how we got to this 3.4% increase. It was very challenging, but I think we worked very collaboratively with our cost center managers, our principals, coordinators, and directors to really think creatively on how we could make some adjustments regarding certain funding structures, offsetting it with revolving funds, as Mr. Dunn said. As he also pointed out, our non-salary dollars only went up 0.84%, which is really a reduction, because you know that number includes our bus contract, that includes our special education contracts for out-of-district programming. So we got as creative as we possibly could to fit within the town guideline. We feel comfortable with this number, that we can continue to maintain the quality services that we currently run. But, next year will be a different story. So we'll continue to work collaboratively with everyone, town finance director, town manager, and everyone else, to make sure that we can, meet our responsibilities to the students while also being fiscally responsible as well.
All right, does anyone on the committee have questions on the school budget? Yes, Mr. Trudeau.
This is more directed to the superintendent. Last year, as I recall, you were making some initiatives with the legislature to treat the town of Plymouth as a regional school district, and it would increase your transportation budget. Could you tell me how that has gone forward?
Thank you for the question. So we haven't tried to seek regionalization of our school district. What we have tried to do, though, however, working with our state representative, Shel Badger, and others, is try to seek funding similar to regional districts. As you know, regional districts receive a considerable amount of financial support from the state for transportation. Plymouth is much larger than most of those regional districts. We're 104 square miles. As I've said over and over again, we're a suburban community with an urban fringe and a lot of rural conditions to our roads, with, I think, over 380 miles of roads. We travel over 4,700 miles each day on our buses, but we receive no transportation reimbursement. So we continue to work with our legislative body to try to seek funding. We're also working with our legislator to see if we can get some bills passed that would provide some control over what certain vendors can bill for special education transportation and homeless education transportation, which is also very expensive. But we are not seeking regionalization. We would need another community to want to partner with us to be a regional district, and I don't think that Carver is interested in that anymore.
I'd like to also add, if I could, and I think the last time Carver said that we're the whale and they're the tail, so they don't want back in. But I mean, this is a conversation I think we've been having for a long time. I remember having a similar conversation when our state senator was Vinnie DiMacedo and our state rep was Matt Muraturi, and they're both gone, and we're still having the same conversation. But part of the issue is finding enough reps and senators that represent towns that would want to do this, where it doesn't take funding away from their district. So whereas Plymouth, we have 2 state reps and a state senator who will vote for us, but there's 39 other senators and 158 other reps that don't want to take money out of their districts. So like finding a balance of enough districts that are big enough that we could propose a bill that they would want to pass, but also not make it so small that it's not going to give us anything is kind of like the place that we're stuck in right now to try to get this through the legislature.
And for those of you who may not know, Ms. Badger was on the school committee before she took her state rep job. So we have a good soldier in that court. Yes, Ms. Richards.
And in answer to that, there is a act requiring equitable funding up in the House that was proposed by Michelle Badger to not regionalize, but require equitable funding. Yes, so that is up in the legislature as we speak.
For all of you, thank you very much for the answer.
All right, any other questions from committee members? I see none remotely, none in the room. Is there any member of the public, either remote or in the room, that would like to comment on the school budget Subcommittee F report? Yes, Mr. Is this a question or a comment?
A comment.
I'll
No,
save the
no
comments
question.
discussion.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, seeing and hearing none. Let's see, Ms. Keating, would you like to make a motion to approve Subcommittee F?
So moved.
All right. And Mr. Malaguti, would you care to second?
Seconded.
All right, so we have a motion from Ms. Keating and a second from Mr. Malaguti to approve the Subcommittee F report, which is the Select Board recommendation. Is there a discussion? I think Ms. Richards would like to say something.
Having worked on the school department's budget last year and understanding the intricacies, I commend Mr. Dunn and his colleagues on that subcommittee for their work, and I trust that they have looked at all of the nooks and crannies and dragged out of there any additional money that they could find. So I would recommend this budget to my colleagues. Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else who would like to comment before we vote? All right, seeing and hearing none, I'll call for the vote. Ms. Butler, how do you vote on Subcommittee F recommendation?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
No.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Reitman.
Yes.
That's a yes? Okay, okay. Ms. Richards,
Yes.
all right, Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins,
Yes.
Mr. Trudell,
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi,
No.
all right? I believe we have 12 yeses, 2 noes, no abstention. The motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Dunn and Dr. Blaisdell and Dr. Campbell.
Thank you.
All right. All right, we're on to Subcommittee G, and I'm going to be making that presentation this evening. No rest for the wicked. All right, Subcommittee G consists of Mr. Malaguti, Chair, Ms. Reitman, Ms. Richards, and Mr. Vecchi. And the first one we have is the water operating budget with a 0.7% overall increase. And then if we add in the debt services accounts and OPEB trust funding, we have a total budget, a select board budget of $6.150523 million, which is a decrease over 2026 revised of 3.3%. That's Article 8. Any questions on Article 8? Any public comment on Article 8? I want to chair from here. All right. Would someone like to make a motion to approve Article 8?
So moved.
All right, Mr. Dunn makes it first. Is there a second?
Second.
Who was the second? Mr. Malaguti is the second. Is there any discussion? I don't think I asked for public comment, so I give that a chance for a moment. I see none. All right, so we have a first and a second.
You need to vote, it needs to include debt service, OPEB.
It does.
It does.
We're moving on entire
Okay.
Article 8.
Okay, I did still see.
Okay. No, we're voting on Article 8 in its entirety. Okay? Yeah, if I can borrow that sheet, please. My memory's not good at the moment. All right, there's no discussion, no comments. All right, Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Reitman,
Yes.
all right? Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins,
Yes.
Mr. Trudell,
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi.
Yes.
All right, Article 8 carries. Select Board budget recommended. All right, we're on to the sewer enterprise. And the operating budget has an overall increase of 9.9, driven in part mostly by an increase, 10.1% increase in other expenditures to operate that enterprise. And then the remainder of the budget is on this page here for a total budget of Select Board recommendation of 9.702320. Are there any questions from the committee on Article 9? All right, any member of the public? I see none here. I see none remotely. Could you just check my screen, Ms. Tompkins? Okay, great. All right, so would someone like to make a motion to approve Article 9 as recommended by the subcommittee and select board? Ms. Butler
So moved.
moves. Is there a second? Ms. Richards is a second. Any discussion among the board? I see none here, and I believe there's none remotely. So we will call for the vote. Ms. Butler, how do you vote on Article 9?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Mr. O'Connor,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor. Doggone it. One of these days I'll have a good run. Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Reitman.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
got to speak into the mic. Thank you. Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins.
Yes.
Mr. Trudell,
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi.
Yes.
Right, motion carries unanimously. On to solid waste, Article 10. The operating budget has an increase of 6.9%, driven in part by increases to personnel services and other expenses. And then the overall budget is $1,024,388 if you include the OPEB trust funding. So the total variance from 2026 revised is 6.9%. Is there any questions from the board on Article 10? Right, I believe there's none remotely. Right, no members of the public have questions? Right, seeing and hearing none, may I have a motion to approve Article 10?
So moved.
All right, who was that? Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, Ms. Reitman seconds. So we have a first from Mr. Snyder, a second from Ms. Reitman. Any discussion? Comments? Okay. Call for the vote. Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Reitman,
Yes.
Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins.
Yes.
Mr. Trudell,
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi.
Yes.
All right, 14-0 and no. All right. The next one is Article 11, Airport Operating. So the operating budget of the airport as proposed is 3.805367, an increase of 0.9. And then the remainder of Article 11 is the debt services and OPEB trust funding, as shown on the next page, for a total recommended budget of 3.851761, an increase of 0.9 over revised 2026. Are there any questions on Article 11? I see none from the committee. Any from the public? I see none from the public, and we don't seem to have any remotely. All right, so with that, may I have a motion to approve Article 11? Ms. Richards is the first. Mr. Malaguti is the second. Is there any comment or discussion amongst the board? All right, if seeing none, hearing none, go ahead. So I think Ms. Richards made the first. Mr. Malaguti made the second. You good? Great, thank you, Ms. White. Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Dunn,
Yes.
Mr. Friedman,
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto,
Yes.
Ms. Keating,
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti,
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor,
Yes.
Mr. Ramey,
Yes.
Ms. Reitman,
Yes.
Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Snyder,
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins,
Yes.
almost said Mr. Mr. Trudell,
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi.
Yes.
All right, motion carries 14-0. And now I think we're in the last but not least department, the cable budget. All right, the cable operating budget is $1,495,000, decrease of 3.2% over 2026 revised. And there's an explanation, more detail on that budget on the next page. But the total budget is $1,495,000 as recommended by the committee and by the select board. Are there any questions from the committee? Yes, Mr. Malaguti.
Yes, this is more of a comment than a question, but when we look at enterprise funds, they're always dictated as micro businesses within the town. But this one is a little different since it's collected from fees from cable subscribers. But this fee in the future, unless new laws are enacted, could turn out to be insufficient and then either need constant supplement from the general fund or may actually need to be absorbed into the general fund for these operations, just looking at future casting for this sort of fund as it exists right now.
So hopefully that's something the Cable Commission has been looking at, or committee. Okay, great. I think we have a representative or two on the committee, like Mr. Richards here. All right, any other questions on Article 12, even though it says Article 2 up there, my typo. All right, no public comment? All right, may I have a motion to approve Article 12 as recommended by Subcommittee G and the Select Board?
So moved.
All right, that was Mr. Jacinto made a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Ramey seconds. Any comments, discussions amongst the board? I did need to ask for public comment. I need to go back to that for just a moment. Was there any public comment for Article 12? All right, seeing and hearing none, then we will move towards the vote. Seeing there's no committee discussion or comment, further comments. So Ms. Butler, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
Mr. Jacinto?
Yes.
Ms. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.
Ms. Reitman?
Yes.
Ms. Richards?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins?
Yes.
Mr. Trudell?
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi? Mr. Vecchi?
Sorry. Yes.
All right, we have 14 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstentions. I believe this concludes the work on the articles. I do have a couple more things to go over with when I return to my seat in just a moment. And I would like to thank the Finance Department, Ms. Barrett and your team for putting together these great tomes. And also like to thank the subcommittee chairs and the subcommittee members for all the work that you did to make this all possible. All right, so our next meeting is on February 25th at 7 o'clock in the Great Hall. We will not be meeting tomorrow night if things go as planned, and I'm hoping they will. I will be probably, I hope by early next week, but we're trying to get the precinct caucus schedule settled. And again, as we did last fall, I will be sending out a questionnaire giving you the option to indicate your first, second, third choices, et cetera. Because we're going to need to get that scheduled, because those are going to need to start happening when the budget books come out, which should be on or about the middle of March, somewhere near the Ides of March. Beware the Ides of March, perhaps. And is there any other business the board wishes, the committee wishes to discuss this evening? I dare you. No. All right, well, seeing and hearing that, I would certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, Mr. Dunn jumped at that chance. Is there a second?
I will second.
All right, Ms. Richards seconds, Mr. Dunn firsted. Have you got that, Ms. White? All right, so I'll go for the vote. Ms. Butler, how do you move to adjourn? Yes. Mr. Dunn?
Yes.
Mr. Friedman?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Jacinto?
Yes.
Ms. Keating?
Yes.
Mr. Malaguti?
Yes.
Ms. O'Connor?
Yes.
Mr. Ramey?
Yes.
Ms. Reitman?
Yes.
Ms. Richards?
Yes.
Mr. Snyder?
Yes.
Ms. Tompkins?
Yes.
Mr. Trudell?
Yes.
Mr. Vecchi?
Yes.
Motion carries 14-0. We are adjourned at 9:52 PM. Good night, folks.